Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we will cover one of my favorite tools in Excel Power Query, the Add Column tab. If you ever wondered how to dynamically enhance your data with new columns, you are in the right place. In data or financial analysis, sometimes your data set does not tell the whole story. You might need to add calculations, categorize data, or perhaps generate an index for rows. And that is where Add Column tab can be useful. I've divided this video into two parts. In this initial part, we'll be covering the basics. So we will take a closer look at how Add Column tab is structured, examining its various sections. Our focus will be on three sections, all sections except of general. So let's get started. So in my Power Query view, I go to Add Column tab. The Add Column tab is organized into four major sections. General section contains functions for creating new columns. The remaining sections are organized based on the data type of your column, or from text, number, and date and time. Note that all these features create a new column. That is why they are all organized under Add Column tab. Let's start with from text. From text contains functions specific to text manipulations. For instance, extract length creates a new column with a number of characters in the text value. You also can create a new column with a first or last characters or a range of characters. You can split text before or after delimiter or between delimiter. For example, we can select a column manager and click extract text before delimiter. And as delimiter, I'll choose space. And now we have a new column with names. Another section is format. These functions are about adjusting the appearance of the text without changing its content. For example, you can convert all characters to lowercase or uppercase. You can capitalize each word. Trim function is more interesting. It removes any leading or trailing white spaces from the text. For example, I have a column with store location and there are a lot of white spaces. So I can select this column and click Format, Trim. And now I have new column without white spaces. Clean function removes non-printable characters from a text. But what is non-printable characters? They often come from system outputs or data imported from other platforms that may not render well in standard displays. For example, I have non-printable character in a store location column, but we can't see it in Power Query view. So I go to Excel to show you that I have non-printable character in the first row. And to remove it, I select store location column and go to Format, Clean. And now we have a new column without this non-printable character. So I'm going to load my data to show you that I don't have this character anymore. Yeah, here is North Holland with this character and here is without. Okay, and the last options under Format section are Add Prefix and Add Suffix functions. They allow you to add specific text at the beginning of the value or at the end of the value. Parsing section in Power Query can be incredibly useful, especially when working with data from APIs or other web services. Let's have a look at this example. So I have a column in my table that contains JSON strings representing customer details. I want to extract the ID, name, and age into separate columns. So I select this column and go to Add Column tab and click Parse JSON. And now I have a new column contains structured records based on the JSON data with ID, name, and age. And I just need to extract these columns. Okay, now I have three new columns, and I can use this data for further analysis in Excel Power Query or Excel. And finally, merging columns in Power Query is a way to combine the data from two or more columns into a single column. So I go back to my first table and I want to merge manager and store location trim. So I select these two columns and I use Control button to select more than one column. I go to Add Column tab and click Merge Columns. Now I need to define separator, let it be comma, and I need to define new column name. Okay, merged. Click OK. And now I have new merged column. So we finished with text section and now we move on to the number section. Number section offers tools for numerical data transformations and calculations. These functions can be quite useful when dealing with columns that have number data types, such as quantity and price. Let's start with the standard section, which offers basic calculations such as add, multiply, subtract, and divide. It's possible to add one column to another or to add any number to any column. Let's have an example. We have two columns, price and quantity, and we want to calculate sales. So I want to multiply price by quantity. So I just select one column, for example, price, and click multiply button. And now I need to choose if I want to multiply price by any number, or I can select column. And Power Query says that there is only one column with number data type in my table. It's quantity. So I select quantity and click OK. And now I have a new column as multiplication of quantity and price. As you noticed, there were two options for division in standard section. The first option, just divide, gives you a standard result of division, which means that Power Query creates a new column with decimal number data type. The second option, divide integer, means that the result of the division will be rounded. Another option is modular. Modular returns the remainder after a number is divided by a divisor. For example, I have a column with quantity and I want to divide this column by 2 and get a modular. I click quantity and select standard modular. I select 2 as a divisor and click OK. And now I have a new column. So you can see that the results of division is 0 for these numbers. And if I divide 15 by 2, the remainder is 1. And finally, I have two options left, percentage and percent off. Percentage calculates the given percentage of the selected column. For example, I need a new column where each value will be equal to 50% of the sales. So I select column with sales, go to standard, percentage. Now I need to enter a percentage, 50. Click OK. And as a result, I have a new column with needed values. Another option is percent off. This operations requires you to select two columns, one column as a part and another column as a total. and then it calculates the ratio of the first column to the second column. Whew, that's it with basic math operations, and another section I want to show you is rounding, which helps you to round numbers up or down, or you can specify by yourself how many decimals to round to. Okay, there is also information section which extracts information about the selected column. Is even returns true if the number is even and false otherwise. Is odd checks if a number is odd. And finally, sign returns 1 for positive numbers, -1 for negative numbers, and 0 for 0. You might also notice the scientific section. This collection of functions is intended to assist you with managing numbers in scientific notation. I won't delve deeply into this section as it's quite specialized. Just be aware that Power Query also offers this functionality for your use. And finally, there is trigonometry section, which provides various trigonometric functions to handle numbers in your dataset that may require such calculations. Just imagine a scenario that you need to calculate cosine of your monthly sales column. Okay, I'm just joking. Trigonometry might not be the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about financial or data analysis. However, there can be specialized scenarios where trigonometric concepts might be applied. And fortunately, Power Query has this functionality. So that's it with number section. I also want to pay attention that the main purpose of Add Column tab is to allow you to create new columns based on the data you have. Here, when you perform an operation, Power Query will add a new column to your table with the results of that operation. The original columns remain unchanged. However, there is also Transform tab with the same operations. But this tab is designed to let you modify the existing columns in your table. When you choose an operation in this tab, it will typically modify the currently selected columns. And that is why the Statistics section is active in Transform tab and inactive in Add Column tab. Statistical functions are often more about summarizing and transforming existing data rather than adding new data derived from row-by-row operations. Okay, now let's move on to the date and time section. And I'm going to select my column with date in order to explore a date function. So here I have three sections: date, time, and duration. And it's possible to extract information about year, month, quarter, week, or day from the existing column. For example, it's possible to extract month or even name of month. It's also possible to create a new column with age. So Power Query calculates age based on the information in the selected column. We have also two functions, earliest and latest, which are inactive. That's because we need to select two columns. So Power Query finds the earliest or latest date between these two columns. The next section is time, which has the similar functions but for working with time. For example, we can extract hour, minute, or a second from the selected column. And the last section is duration. But what is it inactive? Because data type of my column is date, and duration works with only duration data type. Yes, we have such data type in Power Query. For example, we can extract the number of days from a duration or a number of minutes, hours from a duration. So this section can be particularly useful when we have columns with duration data type. So today we covered the basics about add column tab in Excel Power Query. As I mentioned before, this is the first part of our video. If you want to learn how to add conditional or custom column, please subscribe and see you in the next video.